Rihal here from Inventive Sports, partners of World Football Forum here in Paris for the India session. How was it?
It was good. I think it was a really good opportunity to bring together the guys from India, obviously Iain Hume as well, who's actually played out there. So he can actually explain to some of these guys firsthand what India's really like. This event in the past has focused a lot on Russia. Last year they introduced China, and when they approached me about this, I said, have you thought about India? And they said yes. So I jumped at the opportunity, and I think it's really good because the world really needs to know about India, what's happening in India. China at the moment seems to be taking precedence in terms of headlines, in terms of the signings that are happening. But I think India really can be the driving force, and I think hopefully over the years to come that really will be.
How important was it for this panel to get someone like Kushal as the General Secretary of the All India Football Federation, as Sunando Dhar as the CEO of the I-League over here to Paris to be part of that panel and share their views and ideas on the situation within Indian football, isn't it?
I think it was imperative that they were both here. Indian football at the moment is going through a lot of restructure. The AIFF plans to restructure Indian football. The fans themselves out in India have, they're very vocal as well, and I can understand that from their perspective as well. There have been some established clubs in India who've been there for hundreds of years, who really have a right to stake a claim in Indian football. So it really is up to the AIFF to engage with them in communication and to see how they can do things. But I think India really does need a restructure in terms of football in order for it to really go forward.
So where do you see Indian football at the moment? I mean, you were an outsider, you've become an insider over the last few years. Where do you see Indian football at the moment? Is it at the crossroads to really get into that next level, next stage?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, living in Britain, my heritage is from India. I've always had a natural affiliation to India. I have seen how things have worked. Yes, Indian football is at a crossroads. Certainly, the involvement I've had over the years, Indian football has improved with regard to the exposure it's had, with regard to the level of Indian football players. What I would really like to see, and I'm sure you'd like to see this as well, is that more Indians venture out of India in order to develop their football. I think that's imperative. Chaps like Gurpreet Singh, for example, who's really done well out in Norway. I think more needs to happen with regard to that. And if that means that agents who are there at the moment, or even the AIFF, if they can push on that as well, I think their development outside of Indian football can really help Indian football as a whole. And how do we measure that? How is everyone measuring that? And that's FIFA ranking. 160 plus. I can't even name 160 countries. So that is how serious the situation is. And I'm hoping that over the years, let's see what happens with this restructure. But I think when Indian football and the AIFF look at how Indian football progresses, I think it needs to look at India as a whole. I think various regions in India have been neglected. There's obviously been regions that are, that football is the number one sport. But I think from an AIFF perspective, if they can look at all the regions in India, I think that they can engage the whole nation.
Excellent. Thanks a lot, Baljit, for this conversation.
Brother. Take care, man.